Hello, welcome to my Skagway, Alaska video. This was the port where I had problems with Holland America and the excursion. It was a bad day, so let me share it with you. When I booked the cruise, I bought their Have It All package, which included a $100 credit per person toward an excursion. I had chosen the train and bike ride excursion in Skagway. It is the White Pass and Yukon Rail ride to the top of White Pass, where you get on bikes and bike down to Skagway. The train ride is popular and is purported to be very scenic, and the downhill bike ride would be great fun. I was really looking forward to this particular excursion. In December 2022, I saw that they had space available on the 12:40 p.m. excursion. So I booked it, paid the extra amount, and got a confirmation email back. It was all set. So fast forward to Thursday on the cruise, and about 7:45 a.m., I went down to guest services to see where was I to meet the group for the excursion. The rep there said, "Oh, your excursion was at 7:20 this morning. See, it's here in the app." And he looked it up in the computer. I said, "No, the time I booked was 12:40 p.m. and it was confirmed." And I've heard nothing since then about any changes. If the time was changed, wouldn't you tell the person? Apparently not. You can't just put it in the computer and expect the person to know. Even the airlines aren't that bad. And it's not like they didn't know where I was staying. Guest services said I could go out to the docks and speak with the shore excursion person. She said there was one spot available at 12:40 and that it would all be fine. Come back at 12:30. Now, I don't know how they do their excursions, and I didn't know how many spaces they had, so I just believed her, and we walked off to walk around the town. I have a little bit of that video later on. At 12:30, we came back, and it was a different excursion rep. She said that we were not on the list, that there was no room, and that the previous rep was wrong about spaces available. The way she came across to me was uncaring, unhelpful, and unsympathetic. I really felt, in my opinion, that she was just trying to get rid of me. No help and not her problem. Had we known all of this in the morning, we could have booked the train trip ourselves just outside of the excursion or planned something else. But I thought we were going to go on the excursion that I had booked. After this second time with the excursion rep, Jim and I did go over to the train station to see if we could get a ticket. But by this time, we were just too late. We just went back to the ship. I went to the gym. I did go to the shore excursion desk the next day, but there was nobody there. I would really like to know why we were moved 5 hours when it was booked and confirmed, but I will never know. Personally, I think we got bumped for some bigwig, some maybe YouTuber who does reviews on Holland America. The two other shore excursions in the ports before this that I had booked directly with the companies, they all went without problems. I thought it was going to be safer to go with the Holland America shore excursions, but that was not my experience. I missed out on the scenic train journey, so I have no footage of that. But here's what I did get from our day in Skagway. So I didn't get our docking, but look at this thing coming in. It's the Disney Wonder. Oh my God. It's huge, and it's right beside us. I mean, right next. This is amazing. Oh, look, I see Mickey up there. He's the one driving. Well, it's a rainy day in Skagway, and we're going to be doing the bike ride, I think. And there's the princess, which has been following us. I think it's sort of raining. Skagway. And why are we here? Why is this a port of call? It's a small town, about 1,000 people, only a few shops in the downtown, and of course the train. But I had to ask, am I missing something? Where's the large plastic moose or the world's best donut? Why are 7,000 cruise passengers a day descending on this little town? I'm sure there are people that go here and love it, but why are we here? So this is me trying to make this interesting. I only have a certain amount of material, so we'll pretend that this is really good. Skagway's economy is dependent on tourism and the cruise ships in particular. There does not seem to be any other major industry in the village. The building facades have a Victorian 1800s feel to them, and there are some restored 1890 buildings. As for attractions, the two big ones are the history of the Klondike Gold Rush and the White Pass and Yukon Railway, which itself was part of the Gold Rush history. Around town, there are several displays and information posts about the prospectors going over White Pass to the Yukon. The Klondike Gold Rush is an interesting story in itself. I won't go into it here. Skagway's connection was that it was one of the ways to get to the gold fields. It was a perilous and extremely difficult hike, 35 miles up to Bennett Lake, and then another 500 miles or more on lakes and rivers to Dawson Creek. Of course, there were other routes to Dawson Creek, like the overland route from Valdez. But if this one was onerous, those ones were well-nigh impossible. So Skagway it was. William Moore and his son came to Skagway in 1887 and built a cabin and a dock. He thought there was gold in the coast mountains, and he was right. And in August 1896, gold was found in Bonanza Creek in the Yukon. In July 1897, the first boat of prospectors docked in Skagway. Over the next 2 years, about 100,000 tried to reach the gold fields. Only about 30 to 40,000 actually made it, and only a few hundred really struck it rich. By 1899, gold was discovered in Nome, Alaska, and prospectors abandoned Dawson for Nome. The rush was over. In 1898, the population of Skagway was estimated at 8,000, with all the stampeders moving through town. The town was rough and lawless, and one man, Jackson Soapy Smith, took advantage to create his own sort of mafia. He owned the town, running small-time cons and scams. One of his more elaborate was to charge $5 to send a telegram anywhere in the world. He had a telegraph office set up and everything, but there were no telegraph lines going into Skagway. When investors started the White Pass and Yukon Railway in 1898, they sent men up to set up operations in Skagway. There was a meeting on Juneau Dock with armed guards to keep Smith out. He showed up, an argument ensued, shots were fired, and Smith was killed. The railway was built and finished in 1900, but by then the gold rush was over. The railway operated moving lead and zinc until 1969, with a short stint under the U.S. military during the Second World War. The railway closed in 1982. Then, when the cruise operator saw the opportunity to entertain the hordes of passengers in Skagway, it opened in 1988 as a scenic ride. It was purchased in 2018 by Carnival Corporation.